I never thought that I'd actually get here and say, we made it to 100 episodes. I think for podcasts specifically, it's like the top 1%. You're already in the 1% if you made like 30 episodes and like 100 episodes. I guess it's just something crazy. I didn't even start counting to like 30 episodes ago. I think episode 65. But all that to say, thank you. All this is possible by God's grace. And I think I think it's an important milestone to reflect upon, and I don't think enough of us reflect, right? And there's kind of power in that because as you reflect and you look back, you truly can learn from yourself. And there's a lot of lessons to learn from yourself, especially if you're like recording, you're online, you make content, you have a podcast. Like it's very easy to see how far you've come along or the things that you have learned. So I guess I kind of just make this video for one of you, right? And I don't this isn't specifically just catered, at least the things that I wrote down isn't catered to specifically podcasters, but I guess anybody on this never-ending mission and pursuit of excellence in whatever it is that you do. But yeah, I'm not the best at intro, so might as well just get started. First one, God won't change your situation until it changes you. I guess this one I learned more recently, maybe end of 2024, as we're recording, it's April 15th, 2025. And I don't know, this one's kind of hit home. And I put this one as the first one because pretty much all of 2024, I was in the situation where I was getting, I guess, confirmations of, getting these big guests. I was moving forward. I, was getting the clients for my business. I was doing all these different things, but the results as far as like subscribers, views, likes, followers, like all these different stuff, it wasn't adding up. And I kept I guess my prayers always sounded like, "Oh, well, God, please, come on, give me the followers, give me the subscribers." Like this was me. And it wasn't until maybe I had, the beginning of 2025 where I looked back and said, "Man, I'm not proud of where I'm at right now." And to a lot of people, maybe this seems far, but I wasn't proud of myself. And I realized that it didn't have to do so much with the outcome, but more so the input. Like I know I could have done more. And maybe me putting in more wasn't a direct correlation to the results, but it did teach me like if I'm solely focused on the outcome, the subscribers, the views, all these different things to a certain extent we have control over. And it may be with anything, the money that you make or the job or the college decline, it can apply with anything. But when your focus is on that, you miss the bigger picture. And what happens, and by God's grace, it happened to me, like you get to this point where you realize, damn, like it was never about that. And when you focus on that, you do yourself a disservice because you miss the bigger picture. And I guess the bigger picture for me was just I needed to become the person that had the things that I wanted before I got them. I needed to have the right habits. Like it's literally up on my board. I put it for the quote of the month. You must embody the habits of the person you wish to become before you ask for the results that they have. And I literally just, I end of 2024 going into 2025, I realized that. And I wish I would have known it sooner and focused more so on my input instead of, God, please, can I have these things? Can I have the subscribers? Can I have, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like a byproduct. And I think anybody that has done anything, you know, of success, of, admiration, whether it's a business, whether they became a politician, whether they built a podcast, like when you focus more so on the input and perfecting your craft, you're kind of, you know, it along the way, I guess success or whatever you want to label that is the byproduct. But I guess that leads me perfectly into the lesson number two that I learned, which is coincidentally, I learned this more recently. I guess all these lessons I'm learning recently because it's only been like a year and a half, really only a couple months of going all in on the podcast. But lesson number two is there's no right amount of patience. This one specifically, I learned getting to episode 100 because I remember early on, you know, thinking, well, God, it's been a year and a half. It's been a year and 2 months. Like I'm looking at this guy's channel. He blew up in 8 months. I'm at a year and a half. I only have 3,000 subscribers. Like, why has nothing changed? Thinking that, oh, because I've been patient enough, thus I'm supposed to receive that. But like, if you actually pause, it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. No, things don't come to you just because you're patient. It's, part of the process. Yes, you do need to be patient, but they don't just come to you because you're patient. They come to you because you're ready. And to get ready, it takes a certain amount of work. It takes what I said, embodying the habits of the person that you wish to become. And I guess this is something that can hit home for all of us because we think just because it's been X amount of time, just because we did X amount of things, thus we should receive it or receive whatever the outcome is. And I just realized now getting to 100 episodes that it's not like that at all. And that I had a lot of work to do. And the reason why I didn't have the followers or subscribers that I wanted, or the reason why I didn't get the guests that I wanted, is not because I wasn't patient enough. It was simply because my content was trash. Like it was trash. Like if I wasn't gonna watch it, why would somebody else? And you know, there's some level of brutal accountability with yourself that you need to have for this lesson. But I thought it was fitting. I mean, I guess that's really all I have for that one. This one I experienced earlier on in the podcast when I was like just getting started, getting a couple big guests, getting people that I actually admired and definitely admired their input. But yeah, lesson number 3 is the most dangerous thing to keep you complacent is to take heart of other people's compliments. And this is especially true if you're at the starting point, if you're at year 2 and under, year 3 and under, the starting point of whatever it is that you're doing. I'm telling you, I had countless people that I interviewed. They're like, "Oh, you're doing so good. You're 19 years old. You're 18 years old. Look how you're crushing. You know how to talk. You're asking great questions. You're doing all this different stuff." For some of you, that may feed you. That may say, "Oh my gosh, I'm amazing. Oh, you see, these people see it in me. Why does nobody else see it in me?" No, their bar for excellence, their greatness is probably not yours, especially if they're not in your industry. Like if it's somebody like a family member or a client or somebody external that's telling you what a good job you're doing. If you listen to that and drink the Kool-Aid of saying, "Damn, you're right. You know, you're right. I asked really good questions. You're right. I'm crushing it." I guarantee you that is how you're gonna stay stuck. And I only realized this looking back specifically to one of the interviews that I did. It was, I think, episode 14, George Smith, and head football coach from my high school, started pretty much the high school football team and like really built it up. And I remember after that, and then he was like, "This is the best interview that I've ever done. I mean, better than ESPN. I've been on everything. This is the best interview." And I look back and it was horrible. I mean, my first question was Coke or Pepsi. Like that was my first question. So personally, to my standard, it was horrible. And if I would have listened to him and drank the Kool-Aid of, you're right. I can interview you better than you've been on ESPN. Like I'm telling you, this is amazing. I would have been setting myself up for profound failure and disappointment because I drank the Kool-Aid. And this is a message I think for whatever it is that you do, because I'm telling you, you're gonna receive that. And there's like two sides of it. Some of it may be true, it may be right. Maybe you're young and you're crushing, you're doing this 100% right. But then there's another side of like, well, what if these people are only telling you that because they want you to stay at the position that, you're at right now? Or what if, like I said, these people's standard and bar for excellence and greatness isn't yours? And that's 100% okay. But don't take to heart, compliments that you receive and drinking the Kool-Aid and thinking you're all this, because you'll never move forward, you'll never learn, you never grow, you never reinvent yourself if you drink this Kool-Aid. Which kind of leads me to my next one. But this one specifically I got looking at some of my earlier podcasts. I mean, I have to tell you specifically because, as I'm getting to episode 100, it's a little bit surreal to a certain extent. And I look back on, I'll give you specifically, you probably see it on screen, episode 6 with King Mac. Right now, he's in Penn State, I believe. He's a safety. He was a 4-star high school athlete. And this was recorded on an iPhone with $10 mics on Amazon. And I didn't really know how to ask questions. It took me like a bunch of people to try to connect me to. I went to the same high school, and it took other people to connect me to him. Like so many different things. And I remember thinking after that interview specifically, damn, like I don't know. Like I feel like I could have done so much better. Like I don't know how to do any of this. I mean, you could look at my thumbnail on my screen, like, it was horrible, and I wish somebody would have told me because it didn't hold me back so much, but it was a constant doubt that I had that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't." You'll figure it out. Like, you'll figure it out, and that's the lesson because you're gonna figure it out along the way, and placing your faith in that rather than, "Oh my gosh, I don't know," you're just wasting time. Like, if you actually have faith that you'll figure it out, number 1, you will, but number 2, you'll probably get to the place where you have it figured out a little bit quicker because you're focused on that, and as I look back, like, literally, this video was absolutely horrible. Like, I mean, it was like an iPhone, like, it was horrible, and I wish somebody would have told me that you'll figure it out because now as I look up, my current podcast, the setup I just had, by the way, this is a new setup for the 100th episode and going forward for all the virtual and solo podcasts like this. But, as I look at this and I look at some of the, recent interviews that I've done and the production quality, the questions I'm asking the guests, like all this different stuff, it's like a night and day difference, like a night and day difference. And I realize that you'll just figure it out along the way. Like, you don't have to stress yourself too much. The biggest thing you just have to get through your head, and it's cliche, but it's true, is just do not quit. Just commit to the process of you'll figure it out. And eventually you'll just get to the position where like, holy crap, like how was I doing that? Like, and by the way, I had this conversation with Parker Farrell, which was actually the 100th episode. And if you didn't see it, last podcast, really good, super cinematic. He actually said, you know, if we were talking off camera, he's like, "Bro, if you don't see some type of change every 3 months, 5 months, like, you're doing something wrong." If 3 months ago, you know, you look at a video that you made, you look at the way that you're running the business, the way that you were thinking, and you don't think to yourself, "What was I thinking?" Like, you're doing something completely wrong. Like, you have to constantly reinvent yourself, and that's part of the just figuring it out process. This one, definitely holds true to me, and I've been realizing this now as I'm going down the path of s seeking understanding and religion and, Christ and God and all this different stuff. Like, it's a very sticky path that I'm going down, and I write this because I wanna always remember this and look back on this and kinda remember it, that Jesus wants a personal relationship with you, and I've definitely been realizing this as the more that I do because realizing that, like, none of it really matters. Like, really, like, actually, like, none of it really matters, but having a personal relationship with Christ, and I think, one, you do actually experience the love, the grace, the mercy, the forgiveness that he offers, like, it doesn't make sense, like, logically, it doesn't make sense, but when you experience it and you open up your heart to him, then it makes sense, and it's this, like, weird conflicting battle of, like, logic and emotion and feeling in it, but the truth is that, he really, really, really genuinely does want a relationship with you. And I heard this quote that I thought was like just perfect for his nature, which was, even if you were the only one who believed in him, he would have still gotten on the cross. Like, that's crazy. Like, even if you were the only person who believed in him, he still would have died for you. There's not much to say for that one. Um, yeah, I'm just realizing that, going down the path that I'm going down, that my personal relationship with him matters more than the subscribers and the money that I make and all. And it's true what he says in his word that his peace is beyond human understanding. And there's a lot of peace that comes with having a relationship with Christ. But yeah, that's pretty much this one. Lesson number 6, protect your curiosity. This is the bedrock of everything. Like, if you're trying to build anything, especially something that hasn't really been done before, maybe it has been done, but you're doing it in a different way. Your thought of like, "Oh no, this is too far off. Oh no, this has never been done before. Oh no, this is crazy. Like, how am I gonna do this?" Like, that You need to protect that because that's sacred. The ability to think with childlike curiosity of how you would want to do something, even if it doesn't make sense with the present circumstances that you have, that right there is gold. That right there has no monetary amount. And a lot of times, especially when you're building something, and this is happening for me, like as I'm building the podcast, um, focusing, oh, we have to have the camera equipment right. We have to do this. We have to make sure the podcast schedule is like this. Have to work. Have to send out, guests, reach out to new guests to get on the podcast. And then I'm realizing, wait, hold on. Let me take a step back. The podcast is only as good as how curious I am, asking questions, wanting to learn. Same thing with my business. My business is only as successful as curious that I am to learn how to improve my services, to learn how to provide the top tier service to my clients. The same thing can be applied to whatever it is that you do, but a lot of times we get stuck in the day to day, realizing that sometimes you're in a season of that where you're just working, bro. Like there's very little room for curiosity, but that's why I say you have to protect it because at the end of the day, that curiosity is the thing that's going to get you to the next level and continue to get you to the next level. So it's something that it has to be sacred for your life. I don't know what that looks like for you. Maybe that's journaling. Don't take journaling out of your life, no matter how busy it gets. Maybe it's reading the Bible. Maybe it's picking up a book, reading one every month. Like whatever it is, protect that and don't ever let the thought of, well, I have to do this. Well, this is more important. I have to do the day to day. Like, don't ever let day to day stuff be more important than the stuff that will drive you forward. And the funny part about this is that it's easy to quantify if you've been successful, or easy to quantify if you're doing the right things with the day to day things. Oh, well, I sent X amount of emails, or well, I sent X amount of invoices. I reached out to X amount of people. Like, that's easy to quantify, but your curiosity isn't. But funny enough, that the curiosity is the thing that's gonna get you to the next level. So it's like it's you can't quantify it, yet it moves the needle forward. It's interesting, but it's true. And I've been realizing that this one I'm working on. And by the way, like I just want to say, like, none of this is something that I'm perfect on. This is just something that I these are the things that I've been realizing in this journey. And, you know, hopefully this relates to one of you. But I also make this for my younger self that I wish I would have seen this. This one definitely trying to get better at, which is there is no substitute for discipline. And I know, you hear it all the time, but you gotta be disciplined. You gotta do this. You gotta, bro, I'm telling you, like, there's no substitute for discipline. I mean, I'm telling myself this as 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Oh, well, I guess I could just do this instead of going to the gym. I guess I could just walk, right? Instead of going to the gym. Well, I guess instead of reaching out to guests, I could just, because that takes so much work trying to prospect for guests. I could just ask the people that I know or people that I know somebody else. Like, bro, there's no substitute for discipline. And the funny part is you're naturally going to want to go the opposite way of where discipline is. Like you don't want the hard path. You don't want the extra work or the time that it takes to get to this. Like you just want it easy. Naturally, this is most of us, and probably 99% of us. But there's a quote by Jordan Peterson that I think is perfect for it. It's like the only way out is through. And the quicker that you realize that, and the quicker that you realize that, bro, whatever it is that you're gonna do, it's gonna be hard, but stop trying to avoid discipline. Like, just stop trying to avoid it. Just embrace it. Embrace that you might have to wake up early, even though you don't want to, and even though you're thinking, well, I could still get it done, or maybe I could just push this to the next day. Like, embrace it. Stop trying to run away from it. Stop trying to, you know, excuse yourself for discipline. Because at the end of the day, there is no substitute for discipline. I don't care what anybody says. There is no substitute for it. Not even AI. There's no substitute for it. Next lesson. Hopefully you guys are liking it so far. If you guys are liking it so far, hit the like button, subscribe if you're feeling generous. But this one I realized after getting a video maybe a year ago now, maybe like 9 months ago now, that it went crazy viral. I mean, probably got like 100 million views, like cross platforms, like actually, like it went crazy. And it led me to realize this that it only takes one. It only takes one. It only takes one client. It only takes one person. It only takes one video. It only takes one verse. It only takes one to change everything for you. And it's hard to grasp, but this happened to me where that one came, and there's going to be another one, but that one came for me and I wasn't ready. And I can't tell you the disappointing feeling having a super huge opportunity right in front of you, asking for this opportunity to come to you and not be ready. It's much worse. That feeling is much worse than the opportunity never coming to you because at least you become the person that is ready for that opportunity. But when you ask for the opportunity, you get the massive opportunity and then you're not ready. Oh my gosh. Like I can't tell you that feeling because I felt it. And it's also a gentle reminder that a lot of times when we're in it, right? Whatever in it looks like for you, sometimes it feels like so far away, like genuinely, like it feels like far away. Like it feels like, oh, well, I'll come in the next couple of years. I'll make 50K a month in the next maybe 5 years. And that's too far. And there's something online. I have to find it. Maybe I should do a little bit more research on that. But there was something online that I saw that was like our brain only thinks in like a couple months ahead or hours ahead, something like that. And I guess if you were to literally like your 5 year goal, put it into a 6 month goal, you would then realize how real it is. And also understand that it only takes one thing. It only takes one thing to change it. And when you think about it like that, you start to move with urgency, which I think is one of the most important aspects of success or getting to wherever it is that you want to get. Having a sense of urgency mixed with patience, but urgent nonetheless. And that only comes if you truly, wholeheartedly believe, well, I guess one day I'll wake up and post this video and that just puts me on the map. That's what I think it is. But again, you don't want to get to that position or ask to be in that position if you're not ready, if you're not embodying the habits of the person that you wish to become. I don't know how I didn't put that there, the quote, but next one, compare up. This is what I mean by this. You know, as I was getting started with the podcast, I think I got 1,000 subscribers in maybe a year. And at the time of this recording, we're about to hit 5,000 subscribers. But 1,000 subscribers, and I remember to the 1,000 subscribers, I would look at people with 900 subscribers, people with 1,000, people with 4,000, people with 10,000. 10,000 was like the most. I was like, okay, I want to be like this guy. And what ends up happening is that you're doing yourself a disservice because if you're going to compare to somebody and take inspiration from somebody and, really learn from them, or I guess draw some sort of drive and fire from them, you might as well compare up. And also, what happens when you compare up is you're comparing to the best. Some people may look at this differently and say, "Oh no, well, you want to compare it to something that's more realistic for you, right? Because if you're at 1,000 subscribers, this guy's at 10,000 subscribers. Clearly, he's doing something better than you. He's 10 times further than you. You should compare it to him because he's still, yeah, but that's limited thinking. That's a limiting belief. And if you were to compare straight to the best, like for me, it was looking at Alex O'Connor, looking at Chris Williamson, looking at PBD podcasts instead of people that were at 20,000 subscribers. What ends up happening is that you shoot for over here. Maybe you end up in the middle. Maybe you end up at 100,000 subscribers. Maybe you end up at 50,000, or maybe you end up at becoming way better than the person that you originally compared yourself to. Maybe just not at this guy's level, but you're a hell of a lot further than the guy that you compared to previously. And again, all this is choice. Like you have the option to compare to somebody, and we all compare ourselves to somebody. I mean, I really don't know anybody, whether you freaking a gym rat, you're an entrepreneur. Like we all draw inspiration from somebody that has something that we want, and I think the biggest disservice that you could do is comparing yourself to somebody that is on your level or just a little bit higher than you. Like you might as well compare up, especially, especially if you have big dreams. I mean, this isn't for you if you want to play it safe and you don't want to, be the best at what you do. No, you're okay being a number four, a number five. You're okay only having 10,000 subscribers. Like that, that's what makes you happy. By the way, nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be the best, I think comparing up only does wonders for you. And the last one. I made this the last one because it was maybe cliche, but it's so true. So true. And it actually is, it piggybacks off of the previous lesson, which is to be yourself. Like, I know it's incredibly difficult to look at others and say, well, maybe I could just be a little bit more funnier. Maybe people would like me. Maybe I could tell better stories and people would like me. Oh, maybe I need to do this to my hair and get this type of fade and maybe people would like me. But you have to realize that, especially in the social media world, like people follow people because they're unique or because, they're just different. And you have that in you. You have a uniqueness in you. You have a difference in you. And the worst thing that you could do is say, well, I guess I'm not interesting or unique enough. I must try to be like this person. Now, mind you, it's completely different um thinking like that and thinking like, oh well, this guy is a good storyteller. How can I become a better storyteller? Yes, that is good. But when you're looking at yourself and saying, oh well, I suck. Let me try being like this person. There's already that person. Like that person already exists. You, however, there's nobody like you. There's nobody like you. If you want to go from the biological level to the mental level, like your fingerprints are different, right? Your mentality, the way you think might be slightly different from this person, but embrace that because truly that's the only thing that you can control. And I don't think it would be of any help to try to be like somebody else because you also don't know what that person's been through. And again, I know this may sound cliche, but you really don't. Like, you don't know what that person went through. You don't know the struggles that that person went through. You don't know the amount of debt that they had to incur to get to that position. Like, you don't know, but you do know yourself. So maybe you should try to become the best version of yourself. And maybe you should try to just embrace the things that make you you. And it's pretty much what I'll leave it on. I will say this: if you made it to this point, I love you. Like, actually, I love you. You are a real one. But also, I hope that as I reflect off of this, and celebrate by making this video and going to the gym right after, and just keep going, bro. It's like it's a huge surreal feeling to be doing something and then get to the position where you finally look back and say, "Damn, I did all that." Like, I don't even believe I did 100 episodes. And mind you, I'm not stopping anytime soon, but to think that I've done 100 episodes, I mean, I remember just being 18 years old, starting when I graduated high school, starting with my iPhone, I remember all these different things to now being where I'm at. And it's not like a massive difference as far as, subscribership or whatever it may be, but I know the difference because, you know, I know what I was thinking then and I know the work that I've put in, and I hope that all of you watching get that feeling one day with whatever it is that you do because it's very fulfilling and it's fun. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I'm 19 now, turning 20 in 2 months, and I really don't think I would have it any other way. But if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more content like that or like this, subscribe down below, hit the like, and type in the lesson that maybe you've learned from, whatever it is that you've completed recently, whether it's you did 75 hard, whether it's you read 10 books that you want to do, maybe it's a podcast, whatever it is, comment down a lesson that you've learned in your life, particularly in the season that you're in. Maybe it'll be value to other people. But again, thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the next one.